months ago, I turned the ripe old age of 24. And I come to you today on a day where I am thoroughly succeeding in suppressing that deep fear of the inevitability of death deep, deep inside my soul. I thought, what better way to celebrate turning 4? I'm not turning 4. And I thought, what better way to celebrate turning 24 than to set myself a pointless challenge with a limited time frame and the deadline of turning 25. It was kind of something that I started to do already because I love travel, but more than anything, I love to travel cheaply. God bless the European Union. I love me some freedom of movement. I mean, these days, if I pay more than 10 quid for a flight, I consider it a shocking failure. I've been to a few places recently that I filmed because I like filming my trips, and also because my brain doesn't very effectively record long-term memory. So honestly, if it wasn't for that and my friends vouching for my experiences, I would pretty much have no idea where I've been. So I have a few of those that aren't edited yet, but may well be edited in the next decade. Some EU places that I've visited that are available for your view and pleasure, and some places that I have been. My dad is Dutch. I have 2 German aunts, so I had an uncle and aunt that lived in Germany while I was growing up. My sister lived in France for 6 years, where she met my brother-in-law, who is Spanish. I spent a lot of time in Ireland in recent years for various friendships and relationships, and I brought 2 of them back to live with me. So long, long drives through all of this nonsense, visit various relatives, are pretty second nature to me when I was little. Boy, are we excited for Brexit. But so far I've never really actually taken the time to acknowledge all of the places that I've been and effectively tick them all off. My friend Alice, shortly after I'd uploaded a load of videos where I went to a European country for a really short amount of time, requested that we go places together. So with plans already in place, for Christmas I got her a scratch-off Europe map. And today I've stolen it. I have one of those scratch-off world maps, but it always looks a bit pathetic when there's just like one bit of colour from one continent just jumping out of this page of shade. This one I can make myself feel a little bit more interesting. So I got one too, and that's this. I didn't steal hers. I could though, if I wanted. I can take her. All of these maps do still have the issue of like generalising a country just based on a tiny bit that you've been. Like, I did a half a day layover in St. Petersburg before and saw no less than 1 square kilometre of the city centre. Let me just scratch off all of Russia. But hey, no map is perfect. My challenge is specifically EU, and that's not some weird Brexit commentary. But unfortunately, this map does include all of Europe. I don't know, it's so weird why they put all the countries on there, not just the ones I want. I also got myself a snap frame. That was for the ladies. Oh, this smells funny. That's what she said. I put this up relatively quickly because I had a spare day, but I just keep forgetting to scratch it off. I don't know why. Shocker. I have ADHD. But one of the reasons that I didn't want to scratch it off is because I hate scratch-off stuff. I'm not going to do it with my nails because I'm not a fucking maniac. That's another thing though. I've got to find money. Where'd you find money? Shit, where do you find money? I'm going to use a euro because it's on theme. Let's begin. So, I am from the UK. Not there. Don't know where I pointed to Grimsby-ish. Not here. Here. Let's start with Wales. I've started by scratching off a part of Wales that I have never been to. Facts about Wales. It's Welsh. It's got a couple of national parks. Snowdonia and the Brecon Beacons. Yeah, it's all fine. Scotland. My mum's from Scotland. She's from Edinburgh, so I spent a lot of my childhood in Edinburgh. I've been somewhere up here. Maybe? That one? I don't know. Why don't I know anywhere? I've been to Orkney, been to the Isle of Skye, briefly been to Glasgow. I'm just gonna scratch off all of this. I've not been to the Isle of Man, but I've just scratched it off. Obviously I've been to England, unfortunately. What can I say? I'm a well-travelled human being. Northern Ireland, I went to a wedding in Belfast once, and before I went there, I didn't know they had their own pounds, so it was a valuable educational trip for all. Ireland. Sure, we're scratching off all of Ireland. That's how the map works. It's a bit like British colonialism, innit? I went there once. So now this is all mine to claim. I'm really sorry about the 6 counties, guys. It wasn't me. It was Evan Edinger. Portugal. I've not been to Portugal. Apparently, when I was little, my tooth came out in Barcelona and I threw it off an open-top bus. I also went recently to Barcelona as an adult human, and therefore, by the rules of the map, Spain gets entirely scratched off. I severely underestimated how much of this would just be me leaning into a map and scratching it. As they say, it's a mar. Come on, Spain. Off you get. I've got a new method because this is really boring. That's really effective. Oh man. My sister lived in Montpellier for 6 years. I went to visit her a couple of times. That was alright. I've been to Paris. Most recent time was with my friend Cassie. Neither of those times have I managed to make it up to the top of the Eiffel Tower because both times it's been closed.
Does the Notre Dame have a bathroom?
Get away, France. Oh, that's nice. God, I am shit at doing it in the lines though, aren't I? That's not good border control. Okay, where are we? Norway. I went to Norway once. I went to Oslo with my friend Sean, booking the trip about 6 days in advance, I think. And it was...
Imagine if they were murderers.
eventful. Oslo is here. The bit of the map that I'm going to scratch off is here. That was really good. This couldn't be further away from the bit that I actually visited. But it's the rules of the map. I didn't realise that this activity would take my entire life. I'm giving up on the borders, guys, and I believe the world should too. Norway, tick. I've not been to Finland, but I really want to go to Finland because they invented Moomins and they have Moomin World, which is all I've ever wanted. Denmark. I went to Copenhagen once with my friends Lauri and Saren.
Through the corner, around the house.
Copenhagen return, 50 quid. We're like, yes please.
Estonia. I went to visit my friend Kristen in Estonia and went to her family home and met her farm. She put us in a sauna that was 72 degrees and beat us about with a small wet tree.
My favourite part of the sauna was leaving the sauna, but being smacked about with a small wet tree was a close second.
Apparently we should be grateful that we got that native experience, and apparently it's embarrassing that we thought 72 degrees Celsius was hot. Goodbye, Estonia! On the same trip, me and Vicky flew home from Riga, is that how you say it? Riga. We were really tired, so all we really did was get a coffee, get some food and walk around the markets. But I consider that Latvia completed, don't you? This is all part of the map game. Countries are a conquest and I claim them. I don't claim them, I just want to take them off. I hope that's okay. Me and everyone went to Budapest in Hungary.
Budapest, surprisingly enough, is posh. That's not what you probably expect when you have like East Europe in head.
We climbed up by the Citadel to watch the sunset because that's what you got to do when you go anyway. You just got to get somewhere high, watch the sunset. I really liked it. We didn't get as much time as I would have liked in Budapest. Goodbye, Hungary. You are also complete. On the same trip, we did the Czech Republic. That was the coldest thing that has ever happened to me.
How you doing, Evan?
Cold.
I think most of the time while we were in the Czech Republic, it was like -8 to -12 degrees C, which was horrific, especially because neither of us took gloves because we're idiots.
We're going to try and buy some gloves.
But we bought gloves. Poland. I have been to Poland. We went to Krakow a couple of years ago.
Maybe the real Poland was the friends we made along the way.
Maybe the real friend was the Poland we made along the way.
Maybe the real nail Polish was the friends we made along the Poland.
Goodbye, Poland. Oh, sorry, Slovakia. I didn't mean to hurt you, Slovakia. Big country, Poland. I did that tiny bit there. So we're scratching off all of this. Germany. We went to Boppard in Germany with the jazz band I was in, and we got to play in a bandstand, which was really cool. I haven't been to Germany as an adult, but I do plan to go at some point soon. A little while back, me and my friends were hanging out, and we had recently discovered that sharing your locations permanently on Google Maps thing. One of the people in the room involved in that on that day was my German friend Alina, who shortly after that moved back to Germany. And there she is. Look at her little face. There she is. She's like here. She's right on the border. Someday soon, Alina, I'll come see ya. The Netherlands! I've done that. Spent a lot of my childhood in the Netherlands, wearing various different types of clogs, seeing windmills, eating hagelslag. I've had the longest craving for a croquetten sandwich that you can imagine. My dad is Dutch, but I don't speak Dutch. But we used to go and visit my Oma all the time when we were little, and we would absorb these tiny bits of Dutch culture, but never fully be a part of it. Now we're just stuck like somewhere in the middle. I don't know the Dutch very well, but they don't know how to do breakfast. Belgium. Mainly to Belgium while passing through to get to the Netherlands several times, so for a lot of my life, all I knew about Belgium was what its service stations looked like. Much like with France, where a lot of what I knew about France was just gotten from stopping off at service stations in the late 90s to early 2000s, so I just thought that all French toilets were just holes in the floor. Maybe they still are. We were in a service station in Belgium once and my sister got a coffee and accidentally put salt in it. It took us many times growing up to learn that the lots of holes on pepper and one hole on salt rule is the opposite way in different countries. But I have also wandered around Brussels, so it's getting scratched off. Italy. It's one that looks like a boot. I went to Italy recently with Rowan Shane. We went to Bologna and Venice. Venice was actually really exciting. It was one of the first places I've ever been where I was walking around like, oh my god, this is the place.
There are 118 islands that make up Venice and 150 canals.
Don't walk away. Don't walk away. Don't walk away.
Where's the Vatican City? I'm going to be really careful and not scratch that off. Gonna go say hi to the Pope. Oh shit, I scratched it off. Oh well. And I think, for now, that is it. Which means, to summarise, I have done France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Denmark, Ireland, the UK, Czech Republic, Estonia, Latvia, Hungary, Poland and Spain. And I still have left to complete in approximately 9 months. Oh, I could have a baby by then. Greece, Austria, Sweden, Slovakia, Luxembourg, Portugal, Finland, Cyprus, Lithuania, Malta, Slovenia, Bulgaria, Romania and Croatia. That's a baby I can have in 9 months. Who knows if I've bitten off more than I can chew? How much can you chew in 9 months? Is it 14 countries? Tag challenge. Can you beat me to all EU member states? Maybe. Thanks, Europe. Bye. See you never. That was topical.